Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Ken Burke, and I'm honored to be presenting you a presentation on the X39 stem cell reactivation patch with you tonight. And do thank the person who invited you, and because you're going to see afterwards why it is such an amazing opportunity that has the ability to not only change your lives, but really change people's lives that you love and care about too. So, and you're going to find yourself being one of three people tonight. And number three, you'd be someone who you like what you see, and but you're still like to do more research. We totally get that, and so do what you need to do to make sure you have peace of mind in following through on what would give you, your decision. Secondly, you may be a number two, which is, hey, Ken, I like what I see tonight, and I want to get some patches on me and my family. We'll show you how to do that. Or Ken, I'm a number one. I like what I see. And I'd love to be able to get some patch for me, my family, and some loved ones. And I want to hit the go button on this rewarding program, offered to those who share it, not sell it. And we can expand on that. And what I'm going to do is when I present tonight, it's kind of like going to a buffet. When you go to a buffet, there's a lot on there, but you're not going to eat everything on there. I mean, I may try, but there's only a few things that really appeal to me, right? And so I'm going to be speaking in the buffet towards that person who may want to just do more research, to the person who just want to get some patches for them, and also to the person that wants to hit the go button on this rewarding program to those who share it. Because, you can be somebody who simply just wears the product at a wholesale rate, and that's it. Or you can be, it's kind of like Mary Kay. If you're familiar with Mary Kay, great cosmetic company, 18th largest in the world, $3 billion company, and they are a relational marketing company like we are. Well, you can simply buy the Mary Kay products. You don't have to be a Mary Kay distributor and try to earn that pink Cadillac. So, it's kind of the same thing with this. You have the freedom to do what you want to do, and there's no obligation, no pressure for you, which protects all of our integrity. Because I don't know about you, but my name means a lot to me. I'm not going to associate myself with anything that's going to tarnish it. And this opportunity, if anything, has been a blessing consistent with my good name. And I think you'll find as you hopefully come into this opportunity wearing patches and take a further look at it, as you peel the layers back, you'll begin to realize it just kind of gets better and better and better. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to share a presentation with you that's shown worldwide with our team. And that is going to give you the ability to help you decide on what you want to do. And then you'll get back with the person afterwards and let them know what's your decision. So without any further ado, let me go ahead and screen share my screen with you, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, water here. Excuse me. Okay, so looks like my computer has a mind of its own. Here we go. Now the question is, have you been patched yet? You can put the patch anywhere on. You can see it's on this young, fine lady here. Looks like one of my daughters. But once you put that patch on, it's going to elevate a peptide. And when it does, it's going to activate cells, particularly your stem cells. That's going to do what? Well, your body's going to begin to regenerate, make things new. It is spectacular. Well, this gentleman right here, David Schmidt, he is the CEO and the founder, the inventor of this amazing technology. He has over 200 patents to his name. Basically he's a genius, and he loves God and he loves people. It's just amazing when you get to know who this man is. So he is a scientist, he is an inventor, and he specialized in age reversing. But what happened before 2008 on the screen here, like in 2003, 4, the Navy SEALs hired David Schmidt to figure out a way to keep these gentlemen awake underneath the water 18 hours or more in these specialized submarines. And David will say that God gave him the idea to create this patch, right? But it was two of them at the time, and it would be an energy patch system using the light from the body, right? Who'd have thunk it? Then leveraging their fat cells additionally, and it gave them energy. It worked. That led to the women's Berkeley swim team wearing these patches. They began to best their times. That led to Michael Phelps during the Olympics back in the day wearing these two patch system. And obviously, David got notoriety. And then other people like Serena Williams, David Beckham began to wear this two-patch energy system, working off light in the body. David then began to create other patches. But then in 2008, he turned his attention to stem cells and age reversing. In over 10 years, 80 clinical trials, $4.5 million of investment, finally got this X39 patch. X39 means this is 39th patch he created, got this thing to work. got it patented by the United States government. And the company at the time was doing maybe 20 million a year with all these other patches. After 15 years, this one patch hits the market because there's nothing on the planet that can turn on your dormant stem cells, particularly leveraging the light from your body. And what happens then? Well, results occur. Well, during COVID, when this thing hit the market, just think the whole world was shutting down, right? It was a terrible time, wasn't it? We didn't know what was happening, okay? And while everything was shutting down, this company was breaking forth like light, right? And boom, from 20 million to 80 million that year, then onwards of 200, 600 million last year in 2024 ending. They're on their way to hit $1 billion this year. 86% of that revenue is all coming from this one patch. No advertising, no marketing, no social media. It's all word of mouth, now in 80 countries, and it's spectacular. Check out this patent because this is a patented technology. It's a 31-page patent, good to 2040, and there's a global patent as well. And here's the deal. No one in the world can create this product. We have zero competition. Zero. The only competition we have, in all honesty, is people just don't believe it. Oh, it sounds too good to be true. It is what it is. That's not holding us back from still telling the whole world about this patch, because we feel almost a moral obligation from what we've seen and why we want to let the whole world know about this too, and why we're letting you know on this call as well. Take a look at this patent, a little excerpt out of a 31-page patent. Now listen, you cannot patent a placebo. In order to get a patent, you got to prove that this thing does what it says that it does. Well, here's an excerpt what it's going to do. It's going to elevate this peptide, as I said earlier, which then is going to activate your stem cells. It's going to improve energy. It's going to elevate antioxidants. It's going to reduce inflammation. It's going to manage pain. It's going to improve stamina. It's going to elevate collagen production and improve wound healing. That's just to name a few things from the 80 clinical trials and studies that got put inside of this patent. And that's all from just this. Really, it's not this, it's your body now bringing forth healing at a whole nother level. And so the story is, when you and I were in the womb, guess what we were? The first cell we were was a stem cell. And then that morphed into every cell we now are. But by God's design, he gives us a reserve of those stem cells for healing, repair, and restoration, because a stem cell can morph into any cell the brain tells it. So when you're 8 years old, you break a bone, the brain says, oh, I got this. I'm sending stem cells there, and they're morph into bone, marrow, tissue, ligament, joint, whatever the brain tells it, it's going to do. Pretty amazing, huh? Well, guess what? By the time you're 80, guess what's not happening? That's not happening. Why? Because by the time you're 30, half of the stem cells in your body for healing, repair, and restoration are now dormant. By the time you're 60, they're almost all dormant. Until now. Thanks to David Schmidt and this amazing technology, we can turn them back on. It's using light from your body, not light from outside, not light from the lights in your home or business, light from the sun hitting your body, elevates vitamin D. No, not that. This is infrared light. You and I emit infrared light 24/7. If you're in a pitch black room with a bunch of people and you put some infrared goggles on, you can see them. Why? Because we're all emitting infrared light, just can't see with the naked eye. Well, that light bounces, it has a frequency, and it bounces off this patch. This patch is made of organic substrate, of organic crystals, microscopic crystals from plants, of like salts and amino acids, and they're arrayed in such a way to almost create like a mirror effect, so the light from inside the body bounces back off, and that creates a signaling to elevate this peptide inside of us. I mean, who would have thought this? And then when that happens, this specific peptide, it's a GHK2 copper peptide. When that happens, the brain says, oh, I got this, and it starts turning on dormant stem cells. Absolutely fascinating. So nothing's transdermal. I didn't put a needle in me. There's nothing going into my bloodstream or your bloodstream. It's light therapy, right? No drugs, no chemicals, no stimulants. So once again, I'm not spinning my blood and then having my own stem cells from that injected back in me. I'm not injecting someone else's stem cells. There are no stem cells in this patch. It's my own and your own dormant stem cells. Right now, you have dormant stem cells in your body right now. And they're waiting to be turned back on. All right, here we go. So, and what's going to happen? Well, based on the clinical trials and studies, you're looking to get stronger. Well, guess what? How about reduction in inflammation? Anything with the word itis in behind it is from inflammation, right? And so they all now we know that Alzheimer's and things, that's all from inflammation. That comes from stress, diet, lack of exercise, a whole lot of things. Well, here we've got a sticker that can begin to nip that in the bud. Increase stamina, energy, vitality. Could you use some more? How about mental clarity, brain fog? You forget where your keys are? I mean, have you had the anomaly sometimes you're driving, you forget where you're going? Forget, hard to remember names, just brain fog of such. Would you like to see something better in that regard? How about restored musculoskeletal condition? Do you know you have more collagen in your bones than you do calcium? And this elevates collagen production. I enrolled a dentist recently, and he teaches at a college here locally. And he said, Ken, do you know you have stem cells in your teeth? I'm like, dude, I didn't say that, but I said, I was like, hold on a second here. My wife and I have been wearing this patch for almost 3 years, 35 months. And I was just thinking, we haven't had any cavities in the last 2.5 years. And we were getting cavities prior. I'm like, huh, you think maybe? Yes. How about improvement in sleep? Most people I talk to, they're not sleeping good when I tell them about this. Oh, you're not? I mean, no. And how would you like to sleep a lot better? Sleeping is mission critical to living a longer life, living a richer, fuller life, because the body can heal itself when you sleep deeper. It can bring repair and restoration. And now we have the ability to potentially help you and improve skin appearance. My wife used to have wrinkles on her décolletage area here, and now she doesn't. And her hair, which is was like here and back in June of 2022, and we got on this patch 2 months later. Well, here we are, almost 3 years later, and she says, "Look, Ken, I have like high school hair again," and she'll be 58 this year. And I just turned 60, right? But and praise God for this amazing patch. And here's a woman, 77 years of age, her brain was inflamed. Now, just because you don't have to be overweight to have inflammation on your body, right? So, and here's a woman who's inflamed, and her brain is inflamed. That means she has inflammation out through her whole body. But look at this. In 3 weeks, her brain was no longer inflamed. She had improved brain coherence. And 3 weeks after that, it sustained. And, part of that was my story. I ran an 18-man advertising company, and I was under a ton of stress. I never could find good sales reps. And the stress I was under for 10 years. And I started this company from nothing. And literally, I had one last paycheck by name, and I started this company and grew this thing to a 7-figure business. And but it was a lot of stress, because everybody's paycheck got based on my production of continuing to bring more sales into the business because I couldn't find consistent sales reps. It was crazy. That company owned me, and I made a big paycheck. But I'm telling you, peace of mind, you can't put a price tag on it. And the stress I had was crazy. And I remember 2.5 weeks in, the stress I had over 10 years running that company went from about 85% down to about 15%. I had no idea that was going to do that for me. And I got this gift called living in the present. I didn't know what that was. I was always so bent on having to make sure next week, next quarter, next month happened, and I jammed all that into today. So I didn't know what living in the present was. Matter of fact, when I was talking with somebody, I'd be thinking about 4 things at once. And because I was really driven by fear to make sure we weren't going to fail. And even though I had a strong faith in God and Christ and prayed every morning, He'd have to help right my mind every day. For 10 years I went through that. And then bam, 2.5 weeks in, this patch took that stress down to here. And I got this gift of living in the present. So now when I was talking to somebody, I wasn't thinking about 3 different things or 4 different things. I actually was talking, I was engaged with them. When I was with my grandbabies, my wife and I had 10 grandchildren and another one on the way. My wife and I have been married 33 years, right? And so I have 5 amazing children. And all 4 of them are married. All of them out the door. And now from them, we have soon to be 11 grandchildren. They're awesome. And we still have one that's not married yet. So, hey, there's possibly more grandbabies on the horizon. Thank God we're wearing a patch because I can get on the floor and roll with them now. I can get back up and not be all stiff and everything. I can get in a plane and we'll have to go visit some and put the luggage up overhead, help other people. Hey, it's not as hard, right? My shoulders are good. Thank God for the quality of life. Thank God now that I am with my grandchildren when I'm with them and I'm not thinking about work and pain, or when I'm on a vacation, I'm actually with my wife versus my wife and all the fear of running the business. What a gift, right? And priceless. So it's just a little FYI there. Well, here's additionally, you have genes in your body, apparently like 18,000 that make up your eye color, your height, and what have you. Well, 4,000 are reset to a younger state. Resveratrol in red wine years ago got notoriety because it reset two genes. This is resetting 4,000 and based on and which is amazing. So you're getting a reboot on like a computer, you're getting a reboot on a younger state. 6 weeks the brain become balanced. I told you about that. Listen, if you know anybody from teenagers just going through all kinds of weird stuff to friends going through divorce, loss of a loved one, or just brain fog or what have you, I call this thing a happy patch. Get it on them, give them some runway, some time, weeks or what have you, and just watch. Watch what happens for them. Right, within 3 months, the collagen in your body refreshes, skin, hair, nails. It grows thicker, faster, more supple. And I used to have a gray splotch in my hair here. I no longer have that. I used to have grayer eyebrows. I don't. I mean, it's pretty awesome. Within 6 months, your cardiovascular reverses in age by about 8 years. They had a study of 15 people, 14 of them, their cardiovascular reduced in age by about 8 years over 6 months. That's like 2 years every 8 weeks. I had a friend of mine get hit by a car in my networking group, and he was okay, but they did a full body scan on him and said, "Oh, Mitch, we just discovered you have a stretched aorta. Come back in 12 weeks, give me a bypass surgery." Puts the patch on, really for pain management, not thinking about the heart. Goes back for the surgery post-op, and they're like, or pre-op, excuse me, like, Mitch, yeah, your heart's good. It's only 5%. Went from 35% stress, now it's only 5%, you're good. We were talking to Dr. Adam Scheimer after this, like a few months later at a convention. Dr. Adam Scheimer's in Tampa. He's a world-renowned plastic surgeon, does eyelids and facial surgery. He's been on Dr. Oz, so he's got a lot of credibility. He requires his patients to wear this patch 1 month prior to surgery because they heal in days versus weeks. And we were talking to him at a convention, and my friend said, "Hey, this helped my heart." And the doctor said, "Well, I can tell you what it is." We're like, "Yeah, doc, too." He goes, "Because your DNA is always talking to your brain. And the DNA says, I made your heart to look like this, but now it looks like that." And the brain says, "Oh, I'll go ahead and fix it." I thought that was amazing. And now that you have dormant stem cells being turned back on, the brain has that tool to be able to do that for you as well. So how do you wear the patch? 12 hours on, 12 hours off, throw it away. Let the body rest for 12 hours and then put it back on again. So you put it next to your toothbrush in the morning, slap it on. After dinner, take it off, throw it away. You can use the timer on your phone also if you want, whatever, 7 to 7, 9 to 9, however you want to do that. But just make sure after you take it off, throw it away, let the body rest and rejuvenate for over 12 hours, and then put another one on again. You don't want to wear one all the time because the brain goes into this homeostasis. And also the patch is made of organic material, so the heat from the body eventually degrades it. So it's important to put a new one on every day, right? And give your body the ability to rest and repair to continue to stimulate the activity of the brain to make this happen. So you want to definitely drink plenty of water with some electrolytes, particularly a natural, like a Celtic salt or a Baja Gold salt. You can Google that. And it's just a quarter teaspoon you put into a half a gallon. You're not going to taste it, but that will, you'll see, that will optimize the usefulness of this patch. It's pretty amazing. So you can see this is a very simple technology, but it is profound. It is sophisticated. And the testimonies, literally, they are amazing. And I'll just share a few more with you, and then we'll get on to the rest of the presentation here, is that, so when our dear friend Joyce Johnson introduced us to this patch, she had been back in 2019 in a car wreck twice. She got rear-ended, wasn't her fault, and then they had to put 4 titanium discs in her neck. And thereafter, she had throat swallowing issues. She had a lot of weird pain issues. Many times she wouldn't come out of the home. We'd visit her at home, bring her food, what have you. And then one day she calls us back in August of 2022 and says, "Hey, my pain is gone. I can swallow good, and my hair is going back thicker." And I said, "Joyce, this sounds kind of weird. What are you talking about?" She says, "I've got this patch I came across, and I got my sister's wearing it now. She has severe bone-on-bone knee pain. Her knee pain's gone. Her migraines are gone with it." Well, fast forward now, almost 3 years later, her sister never needed the surgery. Now, I have to preempt this by letting you know that everybody's different on how they feel in this patch. So I'm not saying it's going to happen for you. I'm just telling what we saw and why we're excited, right? So, everybody's different on what's going to happen. So when she said about this patch and she told me what it is and sent me a link on it, I said, "This is crazy. We have dormant stem cells and there's light in our body and we can use that with a sticker to turn them back on." I said, "This is crazy and it's safe. There's no contraindication on any kind of medication. There's no side effects. Doesn't what kind of medication any of my friends or family are on. They can wear the sticker." I said, "This is amazing. This is going to work. If it's working for you, it's got to work for anybody. What's the biggest batch of the stuff I can get? Because I believe in the law of abundance. If you scatter bountifully, you're going to reap bountifully. So if I can get as many of these seeds, basically these things, as many as my friends and family as quick as possible, something's going to happen." And she also at the time told me that, hey, Ken, remember this couple named Steve and Gina Merritt from this Monavie juice business many, many years ago? Yeah, well, they just came aboard this company. They had to come with no team. They had to start afresh. And they, in 23 days, hit the highest rank in this business that usually takes 4 years to do. And which means potentially they're making now maybe $25,000 a week. And I'm at that time, and she said that, I didn't say anything to her. I heard about the health of the Pats and I was excited about that. But I was going through a ton of stress in my life financially at the time. Why? Because I could have sold my company prior to COVID and retired. But I figured, I want to get some more money for it. Let me go build it bigger, better, and then we'll sell it, and then I'll really have a lot more money. Well, then COVID hit, and guess what happened? Changed the whole landscape of the advertising industry and forever changed my company valuation, where now I was going to have to change my company to something I'd never done before to get it back up to maybe a market valuation. And I had no idea how long it was going to take me. And I remember driving to work because it was an hour and a half away. And sometimes I had a driver drive me down. And I was thinking about my friends who are now policemen and firemen who are now retiring and going fishing. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm having to start all over. I can't go fishing with them. And I don't know how many years it's going to be until I can. And the stress was crazy for me. And so when Joyce mentioned that this couple had hit the highest rank in this business in 23 days, and they're going to implement, and that usually took 4 years to do, and they're going to implement a system that we could follow should you choose to, and you don't have to. You can simply just wear this patch, and that's it. You don't have to share with anybody. You just get it at a wholesale rate and wear it like a glorified customer. Boom. But if you want to, share it, the company does give you a link and they'll reward you for it. And so I said, Lord, what's just the chance that this could be a ray of hope for me? As I said earlier in the conversation when I first started that, we're going to talk to in three different segments here. You want to do more research, you want to get some patches, and also you may want to hit the go button on this comp plan. Well, what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to round the corner. I'm going to talk about more about the patch, more about the system we use to share it, how much the patches are. So if you want to continue to stick around, particularly if you're one, do so you can see what it is. And if you're interested in maybe getting some patches, you're going to find that out. And about the go button on this comp plan, then you're going to see that too here in just the next 15 minutes or less. Just want to give you a heads up what's coming. So, but here's what happened. So I began to share this. So I got I said, Joyce, what's the biggest batch of this patches I can get? And I bought that and I called my family and called my friends and I said, listen, I've come across this little technology. It's a stem cell reactivation patch. I don't really much about it. I'll send you a link. It tells you all about it. You can go look at it yourself. But I'm mailing you some. Put it on you. It's completely safe. No side effects whatsoever. Doesn't matter what kind of medication you're on. Just put it on you. Tell me what happens. Like to know. So I didn't give any expectation of what was going to happen. Hadn't had any results for myself yet. I just knew it was safe for everybody. Put it on you. And we began to get testimonies back. My daughter called me. She had given birth to little Kendall May months earlier, and Brittany had hair loss here. She had brain fog and all kinds of postpartum stuff going on. And then one day in the past, she calls me, Dad, my brain fog is gone. I just cleaned all the drawers out in the girls' room. I can't believe how focused I am. I cleaned the closet out too, and I have energy to spare. And I've been dreading this for months, and I can't believe I feel this good, and my brain fog is gone. I said, that's amazing, Brittany. I've been wearing this thing for almost a week. I don't feel nothing yet. And your mom's still having 10 to 20 hot flashes a day. And then her husband calls me a couple days later, Mr. Burke, I just taught 8 hours at the Coast Guard. I was focused. I just mowed 4 yards afterwards, and I didn't have any hip pain, back pain, joint pain. Then I sat down at 7:30 with the girls and Brittany, and I was focused. I didn't feel like getting up from the table to watch the TV. I'm like, that's amazing. And because I wasn't feeling anything yet. But then day 21, my wife, she had 10 to 20 hot flashes a day. It was September 9th. It was a Monday. And I remember we woke up that morning and said, hey, Ken, the hot flash, I think they've kind of stopped. I said, what? Yeah, I'm going to go to CrossFit with you. I said, you hate the sun, you hate running because all this stuff. I know, but I just feel different. Well, basically, her hot flashes basically almost stopped. Had a few here and there once in a while, but nothing like she had before. And the menopausal, I guess it was menopausal anxiety is what she had because she had this fight or flight syndrome going on. And that went away and she got her confidence back. I mean, she went ziplining with us months later and went on a cruise. I'm like, who are you? You know what I'm saying? And so it's like she got her confidence back as if she was a kid again. And that was so awesome. And then the hip pain she had for years from giving birth to 5 children. At night she complained about it and this, that left. I thought, man, this is amazing. And that left later, but day 21, her hot flashes stopped. That was spectacular, right? And then 2.5 weeks, my brain came into balance and I was so excited. But then 5 weeks in, my dad called me. I put the patch on him. Here's a guy who never took care of himself physically. So now he's not doing well. He's 280 pounds. He's 5'10". He has one kidney. He's on 12 medications. He gets COVID, and now I got to give him a walker because he walks all along with his head down all day because he can't walk 20 feet because getting air in his lungs is a limited thing now. And 5 weeks in, he calls me on the patch. Ken, I can breathe again. Buy me a plane ticket, go see Brittany in Louisiana. He's in Oldsmar, Florida. I thought he was delirious. I'm like, Dad, you cannot walk 20 feet with your walker. You're not going anywhere. Hope you have a nice night. Click. 6 weeks later, he's in an Uber to Tampa International Airport, spends the week out to see Brittany and the great grandbabies in Louisiana. His lungs restored themselves. It completely blew my mind. I was on the phone with my clients in my advertising world and my team, and people were saying, "You're not going to believe this." And when it happened for my wife, I told them too. And we got super excited when we began to see other things. I had a friend of mine had a frozen shoulder, both of them, 14 months. Couldn't golf with his daughter who had a golf scholarship. That was her daddy-daughter daytime on the golf course, right? His wife had to have him put a shirt over his head every morning. Guys, it looks like he's in decent shape, so I don't understand how you can have frozen shoulder. Well, 5 days in, he says, Ken, I'm back on the golf course. Full range of motion. I'm like, seriously? And so we begin to see things like this with people that you're in arm's reach of your personal life. And, you get excited. And so we have a system we all use to share the patch, not sell it. And so it all started with using this website here called thisisitinfo.com. It's got all the information on it. So while I was going about my day, cold calling on clients or networking events or going on sales calls or, meeting with people, at the end of every business conversation, say, oh, by the way, you know what this patch is, right? No, what is that? Oh, it's a stem cell reactivation patch. Works on like in the body, then it goes into the body, but it's going to turn on our dormant stem cells. It did this for my wife, my dad, my daughter. Is this something you'd like to learn more about for you? Yeah. Well, hey, here's a link. It will tell you all about it. And if you want, there's a great Zoom going on tonight, like the one right now, that I can invite you to, and it will tell you all about it. Would you like that link? And boom, that was it. And then that's what we did. You just keep it simple. Otherwise, you got to become a salesman. Who the heck wants that? Listen, I know what it's like to be a good salesman, and they're hard to come by, and I don't want to sell. So I don't. I present here, but when I meet with people, I follow the system. You want to have a 2 to 3 minute conversation during the day to invite them to take a look and keep going about. Because we say in life, you want to keep God first, then your family, then your work, and then this. Don't mess up that order. And my wife and I, that's what we did. I kept that order. And I remember about 3.5 months in, we went on a cruise for 2.5 weeks to Hawaii and Bora Bora. And I remember we came back $2,500 richer. I'm like, hold on a second, honey. I did not put my foot on the gas to make that money. While we're on the beach in Bora Bora, I can't believe we were making money. Who are these people? Because the word of mouth was spreading. They didn't know my name, but they were excited. They want to get their family and friends on patches. And you get an ID, a distributor ID, and the computer tracks all that. You don't have to hand it out to anybody. It tracks it. And in short, I was like, holy smokes. I said, let's share our kids or sharing this patch because they're busy running their lives and they're both sometimes working, both the husband and wife, and they run their families. And so they're got a lot going on. They could use the hope in this patch, physically, but they could use the hope financially too that this delivers like this. And so we got excited. And so if you're going to get excited about something, why not be excited with a company I said earlier that's growing like a rocket 2 years straight? They've won the growth. It's a growth award that basically out of 7,000 companies in the world, like a Mary Kay, EXP Really, Ameriprise, Melaleuca, wonderful companies. We're the fastest growing in the world 2 years straight. And all primarily based on 86% of revenue coming from this one patch, and then we're part of a team. And it's called This Is It Team with this couple. Where are they at here? Right here. And Steve and Gina Merritt. And they are the ones who started it. Well, this team now has 500,000 people on it. We expect to have 1 million by year end. It's the fastest growing team in the world, not just in LifeWave, in the world, because we have a simple system of one patch and get us started with 4 people. It's crazy. And so here's Steve and Gina Merritt here, and David Schmidt and Meredith Burke is also at their first event that Steve and Gina Merritt had. The president and the founder had to come see what's going on because they'd never seen this much growth. Our team now constitutes half of the revenue in LifeWave, which is amazing. and we're only 38 months old, and LifeWay is 20 years old. And so the thing is, when you're thinking about where you're at, here's the reality of life. The reality of life is everybody, unless you're retired, you go to work, you exchange up time to go make money. 85% of people today, this is a true statistic, are not happy in what they do in their labor. That means, and I wasn't easy running my advertising company, even though it was mine, trying to chase the American dream. That thing owned me. And so I gave up time, a lot of time, to try to make this thing work. And we're here, this opportunity gives you the gift of potential time where you put a little bit of time in, but then the collective efforts of everybody else's time begins to pay you big time. And that gives you the ability to reduce debt. And you're wearing a patch. It's going to give you better health. It's going to give you greater financial stability and security. It's going to give you the freedom to travel. It's going to give you more time so you can enjoy time with your family, right? What's most important to you? Because there is a possibility, should you choose to follow in sharing this with other people and be rewarded to do so, this can happen for you. Well, my wife and I, by month 22, by month 11, we had hit the highest rank in this business while working full time, 50, 60, 70 hours a week in my advertising company. And then by month 22, we were making 4 times what we paid ourselves running our advertising company. My attorney and CPA and business broker came to me and said, Ken, what are you doing? You're working so hard to make this much money over here with all this pressure. And then over here, you're making this much money, with basically no overhead, no employees or anything. And I said, you know what? Thank you. I just had my head down so long with my own baby, that company I started. I think I'm ready to let this thing go, put it up for sale. And we did, and our lives changed. And that was us. And now 300 people have hit the highest rank in this business, right? A 24-year-old out of college, a 63-year-old woman, Penny Carpenter, beautiful, precious woman, never succeeded in anything like this, lives in a town of 650 people in Texas. They're all ranchers. She hit the highest rank. You got an 81-year-old grandmother in Puerto Rico, hit the highest rank. 300 of us have hit this highest rank. All walks of life, various skill sets, really didn't matter, but loving people and sharing with people and plugging into a system, just get eyeballs on Zooms and keep it simple while you're running your full-time life is giving us amazing blessing. And there's no promises for you. I'm not telling you, because you're the variable, but everything's set up for you to win. And it all starts here. You buy patches, not a position, you buy patches. So this is what they call an envelope of 30 patches known as a sleeve. This is a sleeve of patches. This is good till like September of 26. Right? It's a long time from now, right? And so all you do is you open up the back here, and then inside are those 30 patches. Well, this one is, I've been using this one. So, and then all you do is you pull a patch out, you peel it off, put it on you, and go about your day, and after dinner, take it off. I mean, how hard was that? So, well, this is usually $149 retail for a 1-month supply, worth every penny. But I told my dad and my friends, listen, you can get it at a wholesale rate for 99 bucks a month, or even cheaper. And so how you do that is you just buy a pack, and I'll show you that in a minute. So, but what happens is when you come in and you get 6 or more of these, 6 or 20 of these, pick one, and get on a 2-sleeve monthly maintenance thereafter, and then your friends get a 3-pack of these and go on a 1-sleeve monthly maintenance. And by the way, it's still all month to month. You can click off anytime you want. Then you hit this first position called manager, and you can potentially make up to $1,500 a week as a cap on a residual, because what happens is you enrolled 2 friends left, 2 friends right. And this is so easy. I was talking, we had a woman today. This just kind of happens organically, because you're calling your best friend, you're calling your mom, you're calling your uncle, you're calling your kids and saying, listen, I have found something. What you're not doing is you're not calling them to sell them anything. You're calling because you love them, you care about them, and you believe this is going to help them, because everybody on the planet has stem cells going dormant. And so turning back on is going to do what? It's going to help them. Who wouldn't want to help people you love and care about? How hard it is to pick up the phone and call and get 4 people to get on some of these patches with you, and boom. Well, then that you start a left team and a right team. And as that team gets bigger, as you enroll more people, and then some of those people do what you just did, they want to get 2 left, 2 right, 2. It's like a 4-play. So you got your 4-play, and then boom, other 4 plays will start happening down as you're enrolling. Well, that means your team on the left and team on the right is doing what? It's getting bigger, which means your team commission is getting bigger, and that can go to $25,000 a week. That's crazy, right? And well, we have people who hit that, which is amazing. But here's what's really stupendous is that I haven't used that word in a long time, stupendous. This is unlimited. And this is the company wants to reward me and you from bringing people on who are doing something to share this. So you enroll a friend. That friend is your first generation. That friend starts making, it could be $1 a week to 1,000. Doesn't matter how much money they're making every week. You're going to get a 25% bonus on top of what they're making. Say they're making 1,000 a week. Boom, that's $250 for you. Now that friend enrolls somebody. That's your second generation. You may not know who that person is, but it's still your second generation. You get 20% of what they're making for that on top of what they're making. That second generation person enrolls somebody. That's now your third generation. You get 20% as a bonus on top of what they're making for the week. Well, you're not unlimited to how many people you can enroll. We tell people, hey, think about trying to enroll 20 people left, 20 people right. Try to get it done in 90 days. It may take you 9 months. Some people have done it in 9 days or less. But guess what? If you enroll 20 people left, 20 people right, and then each one now enrolls a friend, now you got 80, and that row there enrolls another friend. Well, now you have 120 because you have 40 here, then another 40, another 40. So you have the ability to pay off all that. And in real world, not everybody does something, but I just want to give you a case in point. My wife and I, 2/3 of our income come from this right here, right? And the other third comes from this. And so we still haven't hit that $25,000 a week, but we actually make 20 more than $25,000 a week because of this here. And we couldn't be more grateful. And there's no way that my wife and I could ever figure out a way to make this happen for ourselves. It's the power of this opportunity, the power of the patch, the power of how this changes lives that lights up this amazing comp plan. And so what you do is you start off, right? And you buy a pack. Now, my wife and I, we started on the right here, that 20 pack, 20 of these, right? There's 30 of these in here. And why did I do that? Well, because there wasn't a bigger pack I could buy. That was the biggest pack you could get, and you can't buy it again. You only buy it one time, it's one and done. That's it. And what this does is it got the price down to about $87.50. It's the cheapest way to buy the product. I'm a budget kind of guy. I'm also an abundance kind of guy. So I got the most amount I could get. And you're supposed to they recognize that or advise that you wear this 1 month for every 10 years of life. So I figured, fine, I'll get 6 for me, 3 for my wife. Just kidding. 5 for my wife, and that will give me, 10 or so left over. So I can place and replace with people. So when I enroll a friend, they don't have to wait 3 to 5 days to get their patches. I can front them one of these, get them on it, and start wearing it. And then when they get theirs in the mailbox, they can replace a whole one back to me. It's called place and replace. And because I had enough of these extra, I could get that thing started. And that did get us started because we had people call us sometimes 2 or 3 days. I can't believe how good I feel wearing this patch. I'm calling my best friend, my friends and family. And now I got people wanting to go get people on this patch, and they don't even have the patch in the mailbox yet. So that was the power of coming in. And as a businessman, I was like, this is amazing. I mean, you know how much it costs to buy a franchise today and how you have to put your house up, how much cash you have in the bank, employees, brick and mortar. It's crazy. Even if you even become a realtor, you got to spend a lot of money. I said, this is crazy. This is a one and done. And this is a product just for me and my wife. It's not even really an investment in a business. And so, but if one can't afford the $17.50, then you can still get the product down to $89, buy a 6-pack, give it a 90-day runway, 3 for you, 3 for your spouse. Boom. There's a 6-pack right there. Both the 6-pack and the 20-pack put you in a position to get paid all the ways the company pays as long as you get on a 2-sleeve monthly maintenance program. On the 20-pack, you can push that out 90 days. And the 6-pack, it starts next month. So you don't pay anything today. You just buy one of these 2 to get it cheaper, the cheapest possible rate. And then you go on a 2-sleeve monthly maintenance thereafter. And that's going to open you up to basically get paid all the ways the company pays, and give you the product at the lowest possible price point, and to get started in. Now, if you just want to kick the tires, you can get a 3-pack of these for $295, right? That's less than $99.95. And so there's a $25 enrollment fee that gets waived on all this. And that fee kind of like gives you the ability to get at a wholesale rate. Well, that gets waived out of here. So getting a 3-pack gives you at least a 90-day supply to get you started. Now, if you're married, I have to say, you're going to turn on your stem cells and your spouse is still going to walk around with dormant stem cells in their brain. So if you're married, you might want to do a solid And if money's an issue, fine. Buy the 3-pack, one for you, one for your spouse, and one to share. Caring is sharing, right? And then get on that 2-sleep monthly maintenance so you continue to make sure you wear this, because you want to wear this 1 month for every 10 years of life. Now you're getting a wholesale rate to do it, not paying 149. Plus, you can always upgrade to the 6-pack or the 20-pack. And for the price difference, so for $240, you can upgrade when you're ready to get this, to get the 6-pack, and you'll get the 3 additional sleeves and you're made whole, or you can upgrade to the 20-pack. But once you've done that, you're done. You can't get these packs again, and you're on a 2-sleeve monthly maintenance. So for my wife and I to make 7 figures a year right now, my monthly investment, $99 for me, $99 for my wife. That's spectacular, And so once again, if you are looking to wear this product and share it, then pick the pack that works best for you. The 6 and 20-pack is what's going to open up the comp plan. The 3-pack, you're limited to $100 a week. You're limited on how much money that you're going to make there. This is 6 and 20-pack that opens up the comp plan. The person invited you can share more about this. I do want to share with you something else. So while I'm with you, is that if you come aboard this opportunity, this is a once-a-year event, and it's happening next week in Orlando on Friday night, the 8th, and then all day Saturday with an amazing church service that's optional after. But this is a trajectory changer, because what's going to happen is we're going to have all these people hit the highest rank, plus people from all around the world, thousands of them coming to Orlando that are part of our team. And you're going to see and hear from common folks getting uncommon results based on this amazing opportunity, hearing nuggets of how that's been done for them, giving you hope that this can be more than done for you. And it is a trajectory changer. It is so spectacular. It's hard to put words to what happens. It's not like a rah-rah system bah. This is where your belief is going to get bigger. Your conviction is going to get deeper, and you're going to come out just with a whole nother outlook on life. And if you have friends who come with you, theirs are too. And if they're all on your team, your paycheck's going to even go up, because you're going to get more patch on more people, see more miracles. God gets greater glory, and your income is going to go up. Our income went up from $1,000 a week to $1,000 a day on a next level event. And this is only once a year, and it's next week. So get with your upline on that. Also, the person invited you, should you be interested, because I'm telling you, it's going to change your life. Because you're going to hear all these people that the patch has changed their life and all the miracles. And then you're going to see how this system works and the financial opportunity and blessing that this thing can be, which is a gift. And that's your call. So if you're a 3, 2, 1 tonight, one, you've got the research now, go to visitinfo.com, get the person invited you. If you're a 2, then you have the ability now to pick one of these packs to be able to get some patch on you and your family and friends. And then you can always upgrade later to, and if you want to plug into the opportunity. And then if you're 1, well, here we go. Get that 20-pack. Get into the law of abundance. Think about the people you love and care about right now. Every single friend and loved one you have has stem cells, and they're going dormant. How old are they? Right? My 94-year-old mother-in-law, think about this. She got throat cancer. The doctor's like, well, she's so old, you probably just want to put her in hospice. And we fought back and said, no. So I said, okay, we're going to give her isolated radiation right there. We put her on the patch because you can give her some on the patch on radiation. You can't on chemotherapy, because chemo is looking for the most active cells to kill. You start turning on your dormant stem cells, it's going to go after both. So that's the only time you cannot be wearing this patch is on chemotherapy, but radiation is no problem. Put the patch on her. And her oncology nurse, Randy, of 20 years, said, I've never seen this before. Why no burn marks? Why no swelling? And she began to heal so rapidly. Not only that, her hair began to grow thicker and faster. 94 years of age, little 94-year-old. And her beautician was like, Lorraine, what's with your hair? So when you put this patch on, not only are you turning on your dormant stem cells, but they're actually turning on in a super young state, right? And that's why we're seeing some of the things we're seeing. Pretty amazing, huh? So when you're thinking about that 20-pack, you're really thinking about people you love and care about. You're like, I've got to get the word out, and I've got to get some patches on some of my family and friends, and then I got to get their eyeballs on the Zoom so they get their own patches. I just want to get them started. And that 20-pack is going to get that done for you. Or like I said, at least you get the 6-pack, one for you, one for a spouse. You got 4 to be in business with by sharing, place, replace, and share a few. And like I said, you can always upgrade later to that 20-pack. And same thing. Or if you just want to kick the tires and give it a shot, give yourself a 9-day runway for yourself, gain a belief for you, then there's a most cost-effective way to do that by buying that 3-pack for you. But if your business is built, if you're going to build the business, you're going to get on a 2C monthly maintenance. That's not going to start for a month out on the 6-pack or 3 months out on the 20-pack. And everything is all month to month. You can click off anytime. There's always a 30-day back money guarantee, so you're never locked in. That also protects our integrity and our good name and yours as well. So, well, I hope that gives you a clear shot. And if you're one, you've got the intel to be able to now do some more research. If you're two, let the people know who invited you, your friend or what have you, what you'd like to do. And if you're one, same thing. And so we're super excited about what we're doing on changing lives. And I pray that this has been effective for you at helping you make a decision for what you want to do for you. And hopefully, I pray that you're seeing and you're thinking right now about people you love and care about that could use this patch, right? Because you could be the next miracle for them. Just like I, as a granddad, was the next miracle for my granddaughter, little Kendall May, who was a level 3 on the scale of autism. And not Kendall May, excuse me, Liliana, got 10 grandchildren. Liliana, nonverbal, non-focus. It's heartbreaking as a granddad to lift up a grandchild, look straight in the eyes, and look at you or talk to you. Breaks your heart for them and for you. Well, guess what? February 10th last year, got to pass that little 2.5-year-old, and first thing, boom, she begins to focus. Her therapist like, hey, with Liliana, why is she not focused? And then she's gotten better through time. Now she knows me, she'll hug me, right? She's still on the spectrum, but better. And anytime we get this patch on a child on the spectrum, their life changes. But start thinking about that. Think about Parkinson's. Think about MS. Think about dementia. Think about friends that aren't sleeping well, friends who are stressed, friends who've been through surgery, right? That maybe are still getting dogged years later by that surgery. Friends that are maybe going to be getting ready to go to surgery, right? And so just friends in general, because they all have stem cells going south. And we have the ability to give their body a new opportunity to get some youthfulness back into their vitality of life again. And so that 20-pack is nothing. It's nothing compared to the hope that's in there. And it's so easy to make the money back on that thing once you begin to share it. I mean, it's just crazy. So, well, I hope this helps. And it's been an honor for me to be with you this evening. And I hope to see you again on the next Zoom, that you bring more friends back. There's multiple Zooms that go on through the week. Tomorrow, there's an amazing women's Zoom going on at noon. And there's many more Zooms going on this week, not just this one too. And also we're free. Your upline's free to do private Zooms for you, for your family. I'm willing to do that. If you've got family and friends who'd like to get on a call, say, hey, I found something. I got a friend who's going to share something with us. I want you to take a look and see if you see what I see. And we can do that for you as well too. Alrighty. Well, it's been a blessing to be with you tonight. Hopefully I'll see you again soon. And on the next Zoom, or maybe at Next Level next week in Orlando. And it's going to be a game changer, and your life is going to get on a new trajectory of blessing. So, well, it's been great to be with you. Have a wonderful evening, and blessings. Have a good night. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Ken. My bags are packed. I'm ready to go.
Looking forward to seeing you, my friend. It's going to be awesome.
You bet.
Awesome. Great job, Chuck. Love you guys. Good night.